Hey everybody, October here. Welcome back to Games That Time Forgot. This time around we're looking at Rise of the Argonauts, put out in 2008 by Codemasters. Really hope you guys are not fans of the original Jason and the Argonauts story. This retelling is a little bit different. Let's check out why. To run you through the plot real quick, right here you see Alcime, soon to be Queen of Iolcus, and her husband-to-be, Jason. And now she's a woman in the refrigerator. Her death prompts Jason to go after the Golden Fleece, which will allow him to bring her back to life. And along the way he'll meet figures out of mythology. The gods themselves direct him to Achilles, the Mycenaean wonderkin, and soon-to-be hero of the war in Troy, Atalanta, the daughter of several plot points that I can't get into because of spoilers, Pan, the goat god, who's not a god in this, and Hercules, who looks like Steve Reeves with the glandular problem. Guided by the gods, he has to collect the blood of the gods in order to open up the portal, get the Golden Fleece, save the day, yada yada yada. Really, this is a game in the mold of a Mass Effect or a Dragon Age or something else put out by BioWare, which is okay. On the whole, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the game. The level up system is easy enough to comprehend, the characters are inviting and welcoming, and the storyline, while not that deep, is still a lot of fun to play through. The settings vary enough so that way you get the full color palette. You have the deep jungles, you have the desert and pit fighting, and you have the swamps and bayous. Eventually you make it to the afterlife itself in your quest to bring back somebody from said afterlife who's not quite there. Plot points and spoilers abound! So we're cutting that part out. For the most part it's button mashing, but unlike, say, Conan, put out by THQ, this time you actually get a feeling for the characters. The fact that Jason gives a damn about his crew and about his bride-to-be is what drives this game. Little moments where he talks to them, little moments where they talk amongst themselves, add to it. Granted, this is a BioWare clone. It's not quite as good as Mass Effect. It's not quite as good as Dragon Age. It's its own game, for better or worse. The lack of a HUD is definitely beneficial in combat, as is the free-roaming camera, finally, compared to some of the other games you've seen on this show. Ultimately, it was a lot of fun. Granted, it still has moments where the polygons come to fore, and occasionally the controls get a little wonky, but you can't really complain too much about a game that's honestly trying to be its own thing. Admittedly, the deviations from the story of Jason and the Argonauts are a bit confusing. Of the people who appear in the game, only 2 of them were actually Argonauts. That being Hercules and Atalanta, and of course Argo, not pictured in this review. One of the key problems this game has is that it does suffer from women in refrigerator syndrome. You only get 2, maybe 3 scenes that explain that they are actually in love with each other. Everything else is hearsay, which would be fine if they did flashbacks during that, but they don't. Likewise, you have Atalanta, who was originally a member of the Argonauts crew. And you have Medea, but she mostly serves as a plot dump. She'll give you information, but you have a different magic user along for the ride in Pan. And Pan has some of the best voice acting in the game, but he's unnecessary. It just serves to be a more masculine-driven game, which would work, except for the fact that it doesn't need to be a totally masculine game. This is a game about family, friendship, and roaring rampages of revenge. All of those are gender neutral. So with someone integral to the original story cast aside and put into just plot dump mode, it's kind of heartbreaking in a way. But ultimately, the game was a lot of fun. I'm giving this 7 golden fleeces out of 10. It held up really well, and if you're honestly waiting for Mass Effect 4, or you can't wait for Inquisition, this is a pretty good game. I wouldn't go higher than $15, but still very enjoyable. Well, that's it for this episode of Games That Time Forgot. I'm October. Please share, like, and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at @Oct. Thanks for watching, folks.